I watched a YouTube video where this person basically challenged themselves to draw their OC, their avatar person character, as in 7 different art styles, and I figured I may as well give it a go. And yes, I do have permission from them. I commented that like basically commented a list of like who I would do it for, and they're like, you should do it. So yeah, I'm going. I started a new sketchbook because I had ran out of my main one anyway. So I put some stickers on there. We'll probably add more eventually. But first page, writing down who we're intending to do the studies for. So we've got Tetsuya Nomura, which is Kingdom Hearts. I know, shocking. If you're new around here, I definitely don't talk about Kingdom Hearts nearly every video for no reason. We've got Adalro, I don't know how you actually say their name, but the artist behind Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. I really like the art style for that. I have the art book for Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. I also have the Kingdom Hearts story so far Ultimania, which is basically the Ultimania that came out before Kingdom Hearts 3, so it has a heap of the art. So then we've got Takashi Obito, which is the artist behind Death Note. I really like their stuff. I've read a fair few different manga that they've worked on. So they did Death Note, they did Bakuman, All You Need Is Kill, a lawyer one I can never remember the name of, Hikaru no Go. They've done art for a lot of different things. I think they also did Castlevania. So yeah, they've been around a long time, and they have such good work with like Copic markers, and like I use Copic markers, but I feel like I don't know how to get that mastery that you see some of these manga artists. And then we've got Katsura Hoshino. I'm realizing that I should have practiced how to pronounce these names beforehand. They're the artist behind D. Gray Man. See, I have the art book for D. Gray Man as well. I had a live stream when I first bought it, and the entire thing was going, ooh, pretty. And I feel like D. Gray Man's a pretty underrated style, so it could be a good one to get some inspiration from, just, to try and have a more unique look for myself. Then we've got Genshin Impact. Now, Genshin has several different artists, so that's why I haven't listed a specific person. I do also have the first Genshin art book, plus, like, they release official art a lot, like, every time a character has a birthday, and I will be more focused on, like, the illustrations, not the 3D models, which, as some of you guys may know, can look quite different, albedo. And then we've got Kei Urana from Gachiakata. I know everyone's obsessed with Gachiakata's art at the moment, but it's amazing. So honestly, it's completely fair. And then we've got Ryu, Komatsu. I really should have pronounced Komatsuzaki. I think that's how you say it. I'm overthinking it, and I can't think of how you would say it. But they're the artists behind Danganronpa. So we've got the new Danganronpa game coming out, and I have drawn Danganronpa stuff in the past. Like, I had a fangan a couple of years ago that I was working on, so I have done stuff for Danganronpa. That's probably the only one that I don't have like access to a book or something I bought. So like, I've got the Ultimania. I have one of the volumes plus the art book. I have volumes for this. I have the art book plus some volumes. I have the art book. I just have a volume. I don't know if Gachiakata has an art book yet. I don't know if it's been out long enough. But yes, today is day 1. And we're starting with Tetsuya Nomura. And we're just starting with, like, the vibes. That's the goal for today. To just practice drawing some different things. And we're not being super specific with what I'm aiming for. It was mostly just getting a feel for it as a whole. So we started with, okay, so I'm gonna show you guys the book that I'm using. This is the Kingdom Hearts Ultimania, the story before Kingdom Hearts 3. And at the back, there is a section. So it goes through all, like, the story and stuff, like, it explains plot and lore things, but we have a section that's, like, art gallery. This is where most of the references are coming from. Not all of them, but that's most of them. So yeah, I've got this first page. This is my favorite on this page. I started in a bad spot. I was basically like, I'll just, like, draw through the things. So yeah, we started here, which is a bad idea. These are really difficult, especially, drawing them quite small, and I didn't use an eraser, which is why I just switched to a pen, because then I don't have to worry about sharpening it, and, like, this gives me a sense of, like, I can't just shy away from errors and fix things. I get a better sense of, like, oh, okay, that's how my style looks different. And also, I'm being very loose with it, right? I'm not being precise and perfect. I'm sketching it out as if, like, these were my own characters. Like, I'm treating this like, this is, how Nomura probably approaches it where it comes quite naturally. Yeah, so I'm trying not to, overthinking stuff. So then we've got some other characters, and I'm realizing that, like, I don't know why, but my Donald and Goofy they look close enough that you can tell who they are. Like, everyone, I think you can probably tell who they are, but there's just something off about the way that I draw Donald and Goofy, and I don't know what it is. The mermaid Sora looks quite bad. I don't mind the Sora next to it. But yeah, I think I was just too boxy. I also, something that I found with this is I don't think Nomura uses a lot of box guidelines, because just proportions and stuff being very shapey. I don't know, because of that more cartoony exaggeration, trying too hard to be very structured and getting things like anatomically correct doesn't exactly work, because the characters just aren't that way. Like, I find that the easiest way to draw Sora, for example, is to treat his pants as these big round circle shapes rather than draw legs and then draw pants over the top like I would for most characters. And then we got some more designs. I think this is my favorite on the page, the little Riku. Sora's looking not right. Same as Kairi, but I feel like Riku's kind of getting there. And then doing some eyes. I still don't think I understand how the eyes work, to be honest. It is also difficult because all the things printed in the art book aren't super big, and, like, you can't zoom in. And there just doesn't seem to be a lot of, like, illustrations that have super close details of the eyes. Anything I can find of a close-up of Kingdom Hearts character eyes is of the 3D models, which isn't as helpful. Like, I know that I've been able to find a shot of, like, from Kingdom Hearts 3, but, like, that has a bit more of a realism look to it and stuff. So I don't know, maybe I'll gradually get it, but there's just something about the eyes that's not clicking for me. I think it's to do with the extra eyelashes and stuff. I don't think it's fully clicking in my head. And also sometimes it gets confusing trying to figure out what's, like, hair strands nearby and what's, like, part of the eye itself. And then we're drawing some expressions. So there's the different characters have on their, like, character profiles earlier in the book. They've got, a page of expressions that they had. And, like, some of them I would draw the expression without the face, because I also... Okay, so something about me is... There is this sort of more classic anime style where it has the sort of bumpy sides of the face. It has never made sense to me how that works. So I kind of have always drawn it smooth, because instead of learning how to do it, I just avoid it, especially because more modern styles don't have that same exaggeration of bumpiness. But this is forcing me to have to confront that and actually possibly figure it out. I think at the moment I'm exaggerating it too far, so I'm hoping that I can tweak it back down a little bit. And then we're just drawing some of the poses. So these are from the first couple of pages. Like, during Sora's part, like, hold up, it's at the front of the book. I can drop the book. Hold up, I've got a bad setup. So yeah, like, these kind of things is what I was using for this. So, we've got these. Sora and Riku get 4 pages. Most characters are lucky to get a page. Some of the other important ones might get 2 pages, but yes, Riku and Sora get the most pages, which makes sense. They're the main boys. And then I kind of went in and drew sort of more detailed versions. I really like the pants for this one. Yeah, like, also again, like, just focusing on sort of, like, getting those sense of shapes and poses. Not worrying about hair yet. And again, this page 2 went kind of badly, because I was doing this whilst I was out trying to play D&D, and trying to pay attention to the game and draw at the same time just wasn't working, so I did give up. Like, this one I was able to do sort of right before it started. Actually, I think both of them were drawn right before it started, but yeah, once it started, it got difficult. So then we've got some more, this is basically a reattempt of this one. Like, you can see the difference of when I've actually got, my focus on it. I'm trying to get, like, the hair, so yeah, these are, like, the poses from before. Trying to reattempt the pose on, like, that first page with the trio, but giving myself the full page to do it, because it's got a lot going on. And then, like, redoing Sora, because he kind of got lost in the details. But yeah, these kind of things I feel like is something to work up to, and not drawing on it. Like, this sketchbook's only A5. That's definitely not helpful. You need more space, and also I would recommend, even, like, for practice, not using pen for that. Just especially if you need, like, guidelines and stuff, which you're probably going to, just to get that sort of right, yeah. And then the last thing I've done today is these couple. So again, there's a lot of, like, official artwork that has poses with lots of different characters, and I'm just not good in that generally, not just in terms of in this style. That's just something I've avoided a lot in general. Haven't drawn a lot of characters interacting with each other in this sort of way, you know, occupying the same space. So that is something that I definitely just need to work on as a whole. And I guess the thing to figure out is what, like, tomorrow's goal is. So, like, I drew a fair bit just to sort of get in the flow. I feel like, I don't know, I was enjoying drawing today a lot more than I have for a while. But, I think the thing to possibly work on is really getting that sense of, like, faces. I still feel like looks like my face with a vaguely Kingdom Hearts, like, lens over the top. Not, like, it doesn't look like Nomura drew it. And again, this is something that I find it funny. So people have often been like, oh wow, you can draw like your own original style, that's so cool, like I can only copy stuff. I actually really struggle in drawing something that like looks precisely like someone else's work. That's just never been something I've been good at. I can draw close enough that you can tell what a character is, but I can't make it look like it was someone else's. Now, of course, I am aware that to a degree that you're always going to have some distinctions. Like, everyone has a sort of a unique way of drawing, and Nomura is significantly, you know, better than I am, just in general at art. Like, even, like, this was 20 years ago, but, so I imagine the gap is even bigger now. But, like, that is a factor, you know, they were drawing professionally for a while. By this point, you know, they'd worked on things like Final Fantasy 7 and 8 and 10, and had drawn designed monsters for other Final Fantasy games. Like, yeah. And, you know, a lot of these artworks are also quite refined. Like, these are, you know, official formal illustrations. They're not like loosey-goosey sketches. Even these sketches at the front, like, they're still very clean. Like, that is not sketchy sketch, if that makes sense. Like, and there are some sketches in here, like, Nomura's storyboards are amazing. Like, and just, I don't know, their sketches feel cleaner than my final illustrations are. But you can see some different levels of, like, rendering, like, so these don't have, you know, shading on them. I'm not even gonna approach color yet. Like, that's also something that's gonna make a difference, is, you know, when I'm ready to start looking at color and stuff, I will go digital, because just looking at it, it kind of looks like that was what they used. So I feel like that's gonna help it look more accurate. It seems like it's sort of like cell shaded, but with a bit of an airbrush. I mean, it does slightly vary by piece. Like, this seems to be a slightly different approach to some of these other ones. But yeah, that's today. Today was just a focus on the vibes, just getting into the flow, just having some fun with it. Getting a feel, and I guess we'll see as I progress, like, how much better I get at the style. There's definitely some stuff where I'm like, ooh, that does not really look like it. Like, this, the hair's way too big, and it kind of reminds me more of the Kingdom Hearts manga than it does Nomura's style, like, himself. And just, yeah, there's some quirks here and there. But by using pen, it makes it really kind of pronounced, the differences, and I can't ignore things. I can't just, like, erase it and pretend that I got it right the first time. You can see all the mistakes. So yeah, that is day 1 of trying to learn Tetsuya Nomura style. It's day 2 of art style. So yesterday we started like Tetsuya Nomura study. Working on mostly just the vibes. Today I wanted to focus more on eyes. I didn't just do eyes though. I kind of wasn't liking it. On this page, this eye is my favorite. I don't know why this one just looks so much better. I think it's because it's cleaner. And yes. So that was the thing. A couple of faces, but like, yeah, I was like, oh, this just isn't happening. So I did some Riku poses. I really like this one for some reason. So again, more Riku poses. I see these are 2 different poses, but they are very similar. So this is like dark form Riku, and then this is like Dream Drop Distance Riku. And then my pen died. Well, it's, like, not entirely dead, but it's dying, which is really annoying, because it feels like I haven't gotten that much use out of it. So we were messing around with other pens, and I tried, like, using some highlighter, to, you know, block out the shape and then draw on top of that. And then they had, like, $1.50 for, like, 12 just normal pens. So I was like, yes. because they were on clearance. So we're drawing some Heartless, because I feel like that I hadn't done any of those yet, so that was a good thing to sort of... It's a big part of, like, the style as well, because I remember vaguely seeing somewhere that Nomura got, like, his start, like, drawing and stuff, like, in Final Fantasy. I don't know which one, for, like, monsters and stuff. And then we got, like, Titus, or is it Titus? I don't actually know. And we've got Ansem, then more facial expressions. I feel like I'm gradually getting the hang of the point. Like, this one I like. It's not there entirely yet. And then did some more facial expressions. And then I wanted to see, like, what a final product would look like. So this is, I should show off what the character looks like normally. So this is, like, a character I'm making for a project thing. My final submission will be, my boys from my manga, because they're my boys. But yes, this is the Nomura version. Now, my wrist hurts. I had been drawing for a while. So it's only in, like, sort of the cell shading without the airbrush over the top, because I don't really know how to airbrush. My wrist hurts, and I do need to work on going to sleep. So yeah, this is what I ended up with. I realized that, like, Nomura uses very warm tones. Like, all the colors were color picked from different pieces. So a lot of, like, the pinks came from Aerith, because there's not a lot of pink Kingdom Hearts characters. And I also nearly forgot the choker the entire time. But it was helpful because, like, this is based off, like, one of Sora's poses. I kind of, like, sketched out, like, traced over the basic sort of thing and then built off there. But because, like, the silhouette already has these sort of big hands, that kind of helps. And, like, I mean, I'm already pretty Kingdom Hearts inspired, so it wasn't too difficult to, I guess, translate the design. But yes, this is, it actually turned out a lot better than I thought it would. But I thought it would be good to get a gauge of, like, where I'm at now. And then, like, I don't know, by the end of the week or however long I decide to take with this, we'll get, like, this sort of comparison. But I do quite like this. It's definitely better than previous attempts, like, before this. Hold up. I had well, I mean, I drew Riku, which I feel like this was more of a blend of my style and Riku. But, like, this was one from a while ago. Like, you can see that just... I think something that made this not look as much is there's not the line weight, the funky line weight variation. I think the colors were color picked. Definitely didn't know what I was doing with the airbrush, still don't. But yeah, there's just... Even from that to quite an improvement. Was there another one before that? These are all, I mean, no, okay, so I think that was the only sort of attempt. I know I had drawn them, but I think I just sketched them out. But yeah, I think what really sells it is, like, the line weight, variation. I don't know if there's probably other factors, but yeah, there's definitely improvement. But I've also improved digitally since I drew that other one. I've improved a lot. I've just been using it more, which really helps. So yeah, that's today. Didn't draw as many sort of pages in the sketchbook, but, like, doing this piece. But yeah, I must have really been locked in, because I can usually draw for quite a while without my wrist hurting. So I'm surprised my wrist does hurt. So yes, time to wrap up, go to sleep, and not push my hand too much. It's day 3 of the art style challenge. So today I didn't go in with a specific goal, because I found yesterday I ended up changing my goal anyway. And I wasn't entirely sure what specifically to work on. I thought I'd kind of figure it out as I went. So yeah, we started off. This is this page that was from the day previously with, some Soras. And I'd realized I hadn't really done any from, like, further than Kingdom Hearts 1. So this is, like, the Kingdom Hearts 2 Sora. I think that's, like, the one where he's in the water. Yeah, just getting back into the Souls of Flow. Then we've got, Kingdom Hearts 2. More Kingdom Hearts 2. Got, little guys. So, yeah, I should do more of these, like, little ones. Riku looks so stiff here. I don't know why. I also found this sort of method with like these ovals can kind of help get that Nomura elbows. And then I started doing some work on like, I guess sketching out the sort of vague positioning and composition of some of the group pieces, because group pieces are not something I'm good at. And like, I want to be able to, do stuff like that in general. It's something that I really appreciate about Nomura's work. Like, a lot of it is, these really cool, intricate posters with lots of characters and stuff everywhere. So, working out those kind of things, like the basic shapes and stuff. This one I ended up realizing that, like, there's, like, a cross of, like, Riku, and then, like, it's an overlaid artwork stuff, which I hadn't noticed until I actually, took the time to go, oh, those bits all connect. And then we've got the one from the menu, the stick. It's still very loosey-goosey, very much just, like, sketches, using black pen. Again, more, this one just didn't work. So, yeah, there's a few of those around and stuff. And more just, like, the I don't want to know, like, I guess it's all official art, but like, I guess, like, a lot of these are, like, poster artworks, I guess is the way to call it. And then this one's from, Chain of Memories. There's also a Riku equivalent, which I haven't done. Yeah. And then more Riku facial expressions, which several of those just it was just not happening. And then, I really admire Nomura's, storyboards, because storyboarding is something I suck at. Just frankly, it doesn't come naturally to me. I don't like storyboarding, but I like that they're just so pretty. So at first I sort of tried drawing one, and then like we've got this little bit just because I kind of stuffed this up because I was trying to draw it like sideways and then turn the page around. I was like, oh, that's really easier, but like I didn't want to redo the whole page, so we kind of put that over the top. I definitely struggled, because like part of what makes them so beautiful is how clean and simple, one could say, they are. Like, Nomura's sketches look cleaner than my finished works. It's insane. And I get, like, that they also have to be clean so you know that they can be read, which, yeah, mine definitely do not have that. It's very difficult for this to try and figure out sort of the balance between how much detail to add, but how much, like, working to make sure there's clarity and stuff. So, yeah, didn't do that. And then I thought I could try and put it into practice. So, a while ago, I came up with the idea of, like, basically, like, a music video of Riku to Bet on It, like, from High School Musical, and then realized, oh, I can't animate. So I basically, all I had done was, like, script it out. So, yeah, I had, like, the lyrics and, like, points of, like, what I wanted to happen. Basically, yeah. Oh, I just realized that this is a script. Oh, I really should have read this. I was going just based off these notes. Okay, so this is different to what I ended up drawing because I forgot that that's what it was. That's how long ago I made it, and didn't do anything with it. But I thought it would be a good way to practice, like, sort of, the storyboard method. So, indicating, like, so in the blue pen is what sort of line roughly it is. Definitely not as clean. And even though I used pencil, my pencil and pencil sharpener are just not cooperating. So, like, I feel like it kind of is messier in a way than if I hadn't have. And also, I highly doubt Nomura is drawing this small. There's no way. Just objectively, you just need more space to, get those nice details in. So, yeah, got, like, the drums, like, the doom, 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 and then, like, the zooming in with the hair thing. And, like, this to indicate, like, the camera sort of moving around him. And then we've got, like, a reference to sort of one of the poses from the song. And then, like, Maleficent, like, flickers in. And then he's, like, grabbing his heart because they mentioned the heart. And then this pose was inspired by one that I saw, from Kingdom Hearts 2, I think it was. It's in the Riku section. I was like, ooh, that pose kind of looks cool and could be a good way to, like, have transition from him into something in the background. And then, like, that gets bigger. It's like, and then having this sort of morphing. I feel like this is possibly my favorite bit of these. And then, like, there's, like, a flash transition between, Kairi's hands, like, flicker of light, and it's Sora's, and they grab. And then, like, the camera turns around, and he's like, woo! So, yeah, I'm realizing that I really should have, have read through this. Because I'm like, oh, this is not what I did. Like, so, I'm curious how different mine actually is. Riku in distance camera approaches, yep. Grasping head as if brain has been thoughts, yep. Glares through hole in arms. Oh, okay, yeah, no, I get what that means. So like, you know how like when you have your arms and hands over your head, and like then you're like sort of glaring through the okay, and then like oh, and then it's like glaring, and then like there's a Maleficent falls, lots of falling. Oh, okay. He right. Okay, so this part is where it really diverges. Holds up pose Sora, they nearly go pans. Yeah, like what happens in Kingdom Hearts 1. Flies into okay, so this would be like basically what happens in Destiny Islands at Kingdom Hearts 1. Falls to okay, so then this is getting into stuff I didn't do. So yeah, I did accidentally change things because couldn't remember my vision. I did feel like that when I was looking at my notes that I didn't have enough. And like especially here I was like, "Ooh, there's like a gap that I don't know what I was planning to do." That's because I just didn't read it. So yeah, that was today. I guess like because I don't just want to be able to sort of, just draw, look at a reference and draw. I also want to be able to, take ideas and stuff and be able to apply it to my own work. So that's why I thought it would be cool to do an exercise like that because I like their approach to sort of storyboards and like I don't know how applicable it will be to manga because manga storyboarding is different to sort of a game like you've got the like these things that rotating to indicate the camera angles and stuff, whereas you don't have that same sense of movement. And when you're storyboarding for a manga, you kind of have it in the panels in the place they would be on the page because why wouldn't you? That just sounds like you would have extra work for yourself if you didn't. So yeah, I don't know. I just think that they look neat. So yeah, that was today. But yeah, I wanted to sort of do that kind of challenge for myself. Not noticing a lot of improvement. I don't know. Maybe it kind of feels like that they're worse because yesterday I had the like the full illustration that I did that I'm quite happy with. I am excited for like to do the final one at the end of this week. I think I'm gonna do this for a week for each person. But yeah, like already sort of seeing some sense of like, oh, okay, it's kind of coming together. But yeah, my sketchbook is very messy illustrations. I need to get some like pencils, I think, just because like the pen's cool, but it doesn't help if you're trying if I wanted to do like a proper illustration and do all the like layers of stuff. It's kind of difficult to do that with pen just because you can't erase or like can't and like there's not as much range of how light to dark you can go with stuff. But yeah, that's day 3. Oh, do I have a favorite? I don't know, I didn't particularly love anything I did today. There's not really much that I went, ooh, that's got some potential. Most of it I'm like, oof. Just oof. That's how I felt today. Like it's not that it's bad, but just that's I don't know, today was not as good as some of the other days. I guess this one's probably my favorite actually. But yeah, that's day 3, so I feel like we're filling up this sketchbook pretty quickly. I guess that's what happens when you've got so many rough sketches like this, is it fills it up. Day 4 of the art style study. I didn't draw as much today. It wasn't the vibe. And I also did style later in the day, because I had to pick up my nana from the airport. Well, I helped. I was there as moral support. And also I spent most of the day playing Dream Drop Distance. So yeah. But we started off with Vengeance of the Mouse. So, for those that don't know, I was humbled by Mickey Mouse on a live stream because, like, sometimes people are asking a request. I'll be like, oh, can you draw this? And most of the time, the answer is, yeah, it'll look close enough. But Mickey Mouse? Mickey Mouse? He was what threw me off. Like, yeah, all those requests for, like, fancy anime characters, all these things. Yep, fine. Lots of requests for buildings for some reason. But Mickey Mouse, that's what got me. And still gets me. I don't know how to draw Mickey Mouse. And then I was getting annoyed at Mickey Mouse, so I was like, I haven't drawn like any sort of like the Roxas poses and stuff. So we drew some of those. We got like more Roxas and Axel. These are the Chain of Memories one. Riku's pretty bad. I like the Roxas one. I don't know why. And then I've had for a bit this idea for an OC for a Kingdom Hearts like sort of fanfiction idea. I mean, the rate that Kingdom Hearts is coming out, Honestly, I'm tempted that it'd be funny if I tried to make my own Kingdom Hearts game and somehow managed to release a game learning how to code and stuff from scratch before we get Kingdom Hearts 4. But yeah, this was like earlier in the year. This is the first attempt. I don't like it. Um, it just doesn't feel right. But like that's the sort of vibe. And then this was like a sketch that I didn't like properly color. I just sort of blobbed in stuff. But I made like sort of a mood board. They're kind of inspired by Shadow the Hedgehog from Sonic. So you got stuff. So these were like some little thumbnails. This was like the first one. And I did try some other things, but I'm like, I kind of liked what I got for the first design. And I remember watching a video where Nomura does draw in one attempt. So, you know, maybe not iterating is the way to go. Even though technically I've already got older versions, but that's fine. So yeah, we got big baggy pants and a shirt. And honestly, the silhouette's kind of just Riku. It's just Riku. But I saw this one, like, so a lot of them had this sort of high color, but I like the idea of them covering their face because they're sort of a more angsty character, and I feel like that they wouldn't want to be particularly openly expressive. And you know, covering half your face is a good way to mask that, but it would mean that like, I mean, it also would mean I wouldn't have to animate mouth movement for them. But also it would mean that they'd have to be very expressive, like their eyes and eyebrows and stuff. So this is what I've got for, like, I guess the bigger sketch. So it's basically like the same sort of design. I did adjust the pants bit because like the pants were inspired by these ones that had extra pockets, but I'm like, it kind of felt like it'd look funny, so I just did lines and then I gave chains on the side for that extra sort of momentum, I feel like. And you know, you get like a lot of trip pants, which like they have, you know, initially my original thought was cloth, but I feel like that they do have a lot of like metal hardware in their outfits. And there wasn't a lot of places that I thought I could include it, especially at this level. Maybe if I had more details on the show, but I feel like that they would have metal sort of like things, and like I can't include necklaces because of the collar. So yeah, I opted for chains, and then they're gonna have like a bracelet. I was thinking like those studded bracelets, but again, like it's pretty small, but there's kind of details. And I want their shoes to kind of resemble rollerblades. I want them to kind of like have roller skate, very flowy movement is how I feel like they'd move around. Like, so this sort of assassin going zoom, zoom, zoom. Kind of like, I guess, like how Shadow goes, that kind of movement. I don't know what that Keyblade would look like. And I tried to draw the hair, but, like, I thought maybe giving them pigtails because they look quite masculine, and, like, I'm not super familiar with every character Nomura's designed, but from the ones that I do know of, it's pretty obvious. Like, the women look like women, the men look like men. And I feel like the kind of outfit I've chosen kind of messes with the silhouette and making it as obvious. And I feel like that they would have just a more androgynous appearance. Like, they're a bit more serious. I don't think they'd be, like, too sort of girly, necessarily. But you'd still want it to be... I still would want people to think that they're a girl and not assume that they're a guy. And at the moment, I feel like that the design lends more towards the guy assumption. So I thought pigtails could help. And also just, like, I don't know, balance out the angst. But yeah, I'll have to play around with the hairstyle. I feel like that's the part that I'm struggling with the most. But yeah, I could possibly do that on some different things. But I find that drawing an OC in a style is a good way to sort of practice it, like a sort of lazy hack, because it forces you to look at elements of lots of different designs and, you know, go, oh, well, like, how do they do eyes? What kind of elements do they use in hair and stuff? So yeah, it is something that I've done before, and wanted to do. And just... I was struggling with sort of the normal stuff, so I was like, I'll play around with this, and I've had the idea for a while. So yeah, I don't know how the character's name, but basically I was thinking that my idea for the game would be something like, kind of like the start of Kingdom Hearts 2, where you play as, like, Roxas and stuff. So you're playing as this sort of normal things. It's very clearly, like, paralleling, you know, Destiny Islands. You got, like, this trio, they're all excited and stuff, and then she comes in and murders them. And then you play as her for the rest. So, like, think very angsty. Like, you're getting attached to this group of characters, and then, like, she's basically supposed to be the first boss fight that you're supposed to lose to. You could technically win, because I know that there's... Oh, I forgot the game. But I had a friend explaining to me where you're intended to lose the fight. It's on some ninja game where you're intended to lose it, but if you somehow manage to win, then, like, the cutscene will play, like, where the character plays dirty, and you lose anyway. So something like that, where, like, I don't know, she acknowledges the strength and be like, wow, you're stronger than I expected, but I've got a job to do. And it'd be like, ka-chong! And yeah, then you'd play as her. And I was thinking that, I don't know, something to do with the Palpu fruit. Like, maybe she's working for a person that's trying to force, like, because I feel like the Palpu fruit, like, has some interesting implications if it works. This idea of permanent being in your life. So maybe like someone trying to force like someone to take it. I think I saw like a comic where it was like young Xehanort and Sora. I thought that'd be a cool idea to explore. And maybe like Destiny Islands is like your final world. And because you know there's the idea of like the heart being a guiding key. So like because she doesn't want to do this, she keeps going to all these other worlds and stuff. And the person's getting suspicious, being like, why is your heart not guiding you to the right place? It's like, oh, well, and like makes up excuses and stuff. And eventually, as you get to, I would think that like the second last, or the last couple of worlds will be worlds that Sora has been to, because, or like, this idea that, you know, the hearts connecting hearts. So it's like, oh, well, I gotta find a world that has had people connected to people from Destiny Islands, and that's how I'll find it. So yeah, that's my idea of how the story, that's the basics of the story that I've got for them. But yeah, that's my today. Probably my least favorite day so far. I feel like I went so strong at the start and be like, yeah, this is so much fun. And it's just like momentum lost. But I mean, I have also had other things, like I've got assessments ramping up. Maybe that's part of it. Yeah, I'm hoping to draw more tomorrow. It's day 5, technically day 6, but I was busy yesterday, so we're not counting that. It's day 5, of the Nomura studies. And I got a funky new pencil that I was like all excited because I'm like, oh, this looks like a mechanical pencil, but you know, like easier to use. Except I don't know how to sharpen it, so I was drawing with it and just gradually got more and more blunt. And I'm like, oh, I need to figure that out. Like it was good. It felt weird, but it was at least good at first. Except the lead has kind of smushed when like the pages are being shared with each other. So yeah, didn't really have a specific goal, I guess. Just drawing stuff. We got little Pooh Bear. We got facial expressions. Still kind of basically drawing with the pencil as if it was a pen, like not really using the eraser much. Drew some keyblades because I'm like, that's probably something that is important. And I found out from the Ultimania, I hadn't really read much, but like in Oblivion, this little bit, I don't know what the part of the key is called, but it's like the symbol for darkness, and then this is the symbol for light, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's brilliant. I didn't know that. I don't know, maybe I just haven't looked at them closely enough. Or maybe I mean, I also don't speak Japanese, so that wouldn't help. But I was like, oh my gosh, that's a big brain thinking right there. And then, yeah, some like poses and stuff. And yeah, I think it was by this point I was like, oh, my pencil's dying. But like, there's just marks everywhere. Yeah. And then in between, I took the OC that I designed yesterday and we colored them. I got rid of their pigtails. Because I couldn't be bothered, to be honest. I'm not fully sold on the colors and the design, especially the hair. Like, I like the outfit, I think. And I gave them rollerblades. Because I thought it'd be cool if they, like, could rollerblade around. Because one of my favorite parts of Kingdom Hearts 2 is the skateboard. I'm sad it's not in the other games. I want to be able to skateboard around game. I mean, I guess Dream Drop, maybe that's why I like Dream Drop Distance, is because of the flow motion means I can just move around weirdly. I like any kind of movement in games that's not just walking normally. Give me other options like flying, jumping about, but skateboard's cool. So yeah, I thought rollerblades would be a cool option. Kind of like, so yeah, I play like Genshin, and Shalonen has cool attacks, like where she kicks with her rollerblades. And then after I did that, which you can see sort of the difference that like the airbrushing makes. Now, one advantage this has is actual like skin tone, not pink, and also like I feel like these colors aren't as so like even though they were taken from Kingdom Hearts characters, they're not what I immediately come to mind. I think of primary colors when I think of Kingdom Hearts because you know like You have Sora's got, the reds, Riku's like blue and yellow, like very much bright, vibrant primary colors. Like to find the pink, I had to go to like Aerith, and like Aerith is pink because she's from Final Fantasy, not because like I mean there is also pink in Kairi's outfit, I guess. But yeah, I feel like that even though they were taken, I do associate those colors more with Kingdom Hearts. And I think the airbrushing definitely does help. I was just surprised how much it does. And then we did some, work with, these are some of the full illustrations, so these are both from Chain of Memories. The first thing I would do is, like, just work out sort of the basic, like, shapes and stuff with the highlight and then go over it. These are Kingdom Hearts 2 ones. I feel like that, to me, it's obvious what piece they are, but I know the Kingdom Hearts art way too well. And I also drew them, which helps, go, yeah, it's that. So I don't know how obvious it is to everyone else what pieces they are. I think this is the one that when you complete the game, I'm pretty sure this is the one that they have on the PS4 theme. Because I have it set as the Kingdom Hearts 1 version, but when you complete the games in the 1.5, 2.5 remakes on the PS4, you get like little themes for it. You also have it for some of the others. Kingdom Hearts 3 doesn't have it, which is really annoying because that's one of the ones I have finished the story. It's like, where's my PlayStation theme? And then we've got this one. So yeah, that's what I've done today. So yeah, I guess I should probably start thinking about like, so for day 7, that's gonna be the final sort of challenge where I draw like the OCs, my boys, Lux and Aza. I'm gonna draw them together in the style. Tomorrow, I guess maybe I should work specifically on trying to get that piece really good, like figuring out composition to, have the two of them together, because I'm not great at like shots with multiple characters, but that is something that I really like about the artworks, is the cool poses they get to do all together. A lot of them do have more than 2 characters, which makes sense. Like, there's a few characters in Kingdom Hearts. You're gonna have, Donald and Goofy on there, probably Mickey as well. You might have some Organization 13 members, Xemnas, Xehanort, and, like, a lot of the games will have, at least a trio of, like, you're gonna have Riku, Kairi, Sora, or whatever, like, equivalent trio is for your game. The only one that I can really, like, that has a bit more just duos is things like Dream Drop Distance, but even then, typically Mickey's also included on there. They've got to put a Disney character on there so that people pick it up and go, oh, this is a Disney game. It's not just an anime game. But yeah, a lot of them do have a lot of extra characters, and I don't have my other characters to put on there, and I feel like that it wouldn't work anyway, so yeah. Figuring out, I guess, like, a cool pose to put them in, together. I was thinking maybe something like, so wait, it's like this one where they're like holding hands and they could have like the wings and stuff. Well, Lux would have the wings. I'm not sure what I would do for Aza. And like there's a lot of, I think maybe tomorrow working on like looking at sort of some of the details they can include. Like a lot of them have hearts, which obvious. A lot of skies as well. Skies and cloud backgrounds. Like a lot of things where they kind of, they're floating in the void in a way that doesn't look like they're just floating in the void, which I feel like is a skill that would be cool to steal, because I don't draw backgrounds very much. But yeah, that's, I think, what I'm going to work on tomorrow, is kind of prepare for the final piece for day 7. That's the plan. Day 6, I think I said like last night or like yesterday that the plan was to, do some work to figure out what the piece is going to be for the final day. So yeah, so this is like a Dream Drop Distance one. I don't know what happened here. Just nothing happened, and then I was trying to draw, okay, I put these are horizontal. And then I redid the Sora one, and then this was like sort of planning, except I was like, oh, I could add the wing, but then I'm like, there's nothing to sort of fill the space on the other side so that it would look lopsided and funny. And then sort of some more ideas. So yeah, I have like a image, I think it's a combination of like official art for like Chain of Memories that has like Sora and Riku in 2 different ways, because I feel like that Nomura tends to have multiple sort of people. This one's based off a Seraph of the End pose, in the opening. So yeah, I had a few different plans that I tried, and then I did these 2, but I do have something else that I did. But I've also, like, I think I need to get more pencils, because, like, Tell me why. Ain't nothing but a honey. That like that looks more accurate. I think it's like it's really difficult when your pencils are just blunt and thick. You can't get them sharpened properly to get that sort of like fine details that it needs. Um, like I would still say that I've learned stuff, but it's kind of like why does this look worse? I don't know if it's just that I'm art right, but yeah, I did this. Um, actually, I might play the thing. So yeah, like just working out sort of where things would be positioned for the piece. And then having so yeah, this is kind of like a basic like I guess planning and I don't know what you call this stage, just working out like what the piece would look like. Um, this still managed to take like half an hour according to the thing, which I'm like, geez, considering that I usually can like finish a piece in a couple of hours, the fact that like just working this out took that long is kind of funny to me. So yeah, we've got to work it out. So if you're curious, this is like so I have technically drawn them before in the style. Back in the 4th is April. So yeah, because I've had a sketchbook that of the other side of my boys that are just like different art styles. So you know, like got Final Fantasy VII remake because I have the Ultimania for that. Got a Mori, got Kingdom Hearts. Part of this was also being like, look, my art style is totally not just the same thing. Got some others, and then we've got again in the Kingdom Hearts style, Aza, which is this one. His design, I still haven't. I know I've drawn several pages of the manga and then like restarted and drawn a page of that. Still don't know. Like it's really funny to me that his design isn't fully settled in my head because he's kind of like was initially where this all started from. Like I drew like an artwork and was like, oh, that looks cool. I'll make that into a character. So yeah, it is kind of funny to me that his design isn't finalized. Like, he's got quite fluffy hair. I did try more spiky hair, because I feel like that I'm leaning towards more spiky hair in general. But, you know, I had a more fluffy style here, so that's why he had fluffy. Because there are a couple of characters with fluffy hair, like, I don't know his name. I'm not super familiar with the Union Cross stuff. I want to say Elmer? It's some white-haired guy, and you need to learn more about that stuff. I know my Kingdom Hearts things except for the Union Cross stuff. I have seen the movie, but I don't remember him being in it much. And I wasn't, you know, playing when the mobile games were out, so and I don't really want to go and watch cutscenes of the mobile game. But yes, we've got like that much of the sketchbooks being filled, just from doing this challenge. So I mean, even if they don't turn out right, I've been drawing a lot, and I'm kind of happy with some of the others. But yeah, I feel like maybe it is time that I invest in some decent art supplies, because it is kind of making me sad. I mean, I was excited by that pencil that I got the other day, but I don't know how to sharpen it, and I don't like sharpening stuff. Like this I thought would solve my issue with mechanical pencils, because I like mechanical pencils. I've had a couple. I mean, they have been cheap because all my art supplies are cheap. But like they're meant to be refillable. That's part of the appeal, but they just wouldn't refill nicely. They just wouldn't work. So I was like, "Oh, this thing looks like that would solve that issue," but I still don't know how to sharpen it. So yeah, that is day 6. I guess we'll see how it goes tomorrow. It's the moment of truth. Oh, funny story. I may have procrastinated on this final piece, and I'm going to give up. Because I've technically got, you know, 2 examples. I mean, this one doesn't have the airbrush, but still, we've got 2 examples in the style. I've got a big fat sketchbook that's like, so that piece of paper sticking out, all of that is just for this task. And yeah, it's been like 4 days, since day 6, which already had a day in between. So, you know, we've definitely gone over, procrastinated a little bit. And yeah, it's kind of funny because instead of doing the like Tetsuya Nomura Kingdom Hearts art style study, I went and platinumed Dream Drop Distance. You know, one of the Kingdom Hearts games. So that is kind of funny that that's what I was doing. Instead of drawing Kingdom Hearts, I went and finished one of the Kingdom Hearts. Apparently, also, looking at the platinum trophies on the PlayStation 4, I don't know if it's different depending on what version you're playing. Dream Drop Distance is the least platinumed, and I don't know why. Because, like, I was expecting it to be Chain of Memories because a lot of us skip Chain of Memories. Or Birth by Sleep because I've heard its platinum is quite tedious. But why are we all hating on Dream Drop Distance? It's great. So yeah, this is half a finished piece question mark. I think I kept procrastinating also because it was a bit ambitious, doing something because like this is also simplified from the original sort of idea. And yeah, having a piece where I've got, multiple poses, multiple characters, fully colored, fully rendered, probably should have also had a background. Was a bit much. So yeah, I guess for the next study we're not doing that. So, to recap, lots of sketchbook pages. I'm not flicking through all that. We'll again um had a lot of difficulties with, just different art materials. I still need to figure out how to sharpen that stupid pencil I bought. Um, all my pens are dying. I feel like all my art supplies die at the same time. I don't know if anyone else has this problem. We've got the first sort of one which doesn't have the airbrush. This is actually probably the style I prefer to work in. I think I like to the sort of more the cell shading style than airbrushy, but the airbrush definitely does help it look more Nomura. Makes it look more Kingdom Heartsy. So I guess this is kind of the final piece. Next time I'm not having multiple pieces. You're getting one. You're just getting the boys. Or boy. It'll probably just be boy. Let's be honest. I went a little bit nuts. Definitely, yeah. Was ambitious and stuff. So yeah, that's what we've got. I'm gonna move on to the next one for the next study, which, according to my visual arts diary, is all about Hanako-kun, which I'm curious how that'll go because I have just less experience going into it, drawing in that style, and I don't know. I just feel like that my style's more similar to this because I've drawn Sora a few times. I mean, now I've drawn him a lot of times, but I had drawn him a few times before starting. So yeah, that's the thing. I will show you guys the speed paint of this as well.